So are you a good leader? Do you even know what that is? Oftentimes when you've heard people talk about leadership, you might have heard them say something about being a servant leader. And that might sound a little odd. Man, this fool don't even make no sense. How you supposed to be a leader and a servant at the same time? Leaders ain't servants. That's full crazy. Yeah, I know, I get it. It's confusing. But you did the right thing. You came to class, balance of power. I got you covered with today's lesson. Who do you serve? Let's get it in. Now, when you heard me ask the question, who do you serve? Some of you might have been thinking, like religion. Is he talking about the Holy Spirit?
What master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
So no, I'm not talking about God. So this is outside of God. Yes, I know. We're not supposed to serve anybody else. Yeah. We're not talking about God and serving another type of God or whatever. That's not what this is about. I'm talking about here on earth, whilst you're doing your thing, how do you make decisions? How is it that you know that you are being a good leader? It all comes from what or who are you serving? Because you need to be serving something, hopefully outside of yourself. If you're just a leader who's only serving his own interest and that's it, doesn't really make you a great leader, kind of makes you like a dictator.
Cancel the kitchen scraps for lepers and orphans. No more merciful beheadings. And call off Christmas.
But no, I'm not teaching dictatorship right now, but what I am teaching are the 4 different things that you can be serving when you're thinking about decisions on leadership and how you make decisions about what's going to go down. And these are the things that you could be serving. You, your spouse, your kids, or the team. So what does that mean? Obviously, if we're talking about you, that means you're serving you in that moment. It'll be you and you have a spouse and you've got kids, you've got the whole team together, but you're still thinking about decisions based on how it can serve you in that moment. Then it's your spouse. How is it going to make them happy? What's going to be what's best for them regardless of what anybody else in the team wants? What does she want? Or if you're the woman watching this, what does he want? His way or her way is what you're thinking about right now. Or is it your kids? Is everything that you all are doing going to be serving the kids and what they want and what they need? Is it that everything folds around the children's lives? Is that who you're serving right now? Or is it the team? Is it that you're making decisions based on what works for every single family member? Where all of you together are your team. That's your family, that's your unit, that's your crew. What decisions are you making that help the team as a whole? So when you have any given situation and you need to make a decision, that is the question you should be asking first is, who am I serving? Who do we serve? Are we going to go with what I want or what I need or what the kids need or my spouse wants something? What about the team as a whole? I'm about to tell you a few things that might be surprising to you as to what the actual answer should be. First surprising factor is that it's not wrong to choose you. It's not wrong to choose your spouse, and it's not wrong to choose your kids. It's not wrong to choose your team. It is not wrong for you to have in any of these situations for one of these responses to be that's who you're serving in that moment. It is not bad to be thinking about you at times. It's not bad to be thinking about your spouse, not bad to be thinking about your team, definitely not bad to be thinking about your kids. Now, some of you are okay with some of what I said. You might be thinking, well, yeah, of course, it's okay to think about my kids, but thinking about me, that makes no sense. Yeah, we'll get to that. But the second surprising thing is it's not 100% across the board with everything. Meaning, just because you say, think about your kids in this scenario, doesn't mean you should be thinking about them across every single scenario. That it's going to change depending on the subject matter. In this area where you might serve your kids, but at the same time, this same area, 2 weeks from now, you might be serving your spouse. And then a year from then, you might be serving the team. 2 years from then, you might be serving you all in the same category. Meaning, like in the topic of money, one time it might be the team, one time it might be your kids, one time it might be your spouse, and one time it might be you. So keep watching, and I'll tell you towards the end what percentages each of these should be at least for you to make sense with being a good leader. You can do it any other way you want to, but if you do something different than what I'm telling you to do, I cannot guarantee victory on that. Which ultimately leads us to what you really should be thinking about in terms of who you're serving and how you decide out of those four which you're going to serve in that moment.
What master do you serve?
You need to be serving victory. And victory will be whatever you deem it to be. You as a collective, you as a team, you as a family, what have you come together to value? Some families will value things like we want to be happy. Some families will say something like, well, for us, victory is financial freedom, so we're going to go hard in making sure we get this money. Some families, they see victory as travel. They want to go on a bunch of vacations. They want to see the world. They want to be cultured. So ultimately, that is what victory will mean for the collective, for the team. And so when you're making certain decisions, at certain points, you might have to serve each of these different groups in order to get to the ultimate thing of victory, the main thing you're serving. So there's times where you might have to choose your spouse. Let's say your wife needs a break to get her mind right because she's the one planning the trip that you guys are going to take, the next thing that you're about to do. But she's so stressed out from either work or the kids or whatever. And so right now, you need to choose her. You're giving your wife this mental break so she can book all the things with the flights and what excursions you're going to go on, those kinds of things. So you're serving her in the sense of a break. Or sometimes it might be you. Maybe you need the break right now because you're just so burnt out from work, but you need to get refreshed. And so you need a break right now so you can go back out there and make the money you need to make in order to pay for this trip. You guys are going to be going to different countries. You're going to be doing different things. You got to pay for passports for the kids. You got to pay for flights and hotels. But you need to just, get rewired. So you're like, baby, let me get a break. So right now, let me serve me. Let's all of us serve me so I can make sure that I'm paying for this. Or there might be times when it comes to money, maybe you need to serve the kids at that moment. Maybe you need to make sure that the kids can either do this thing over here or you guys can buy this thing over here. But the thing over here that the kids need is tutors, where they're going to learn the language of the different countries that you're going to go to. And so you scrap this here to serve the kids so that they can learn what they need to learn. Again, all of these things are so that you can get to your ultimate thing of what we've deemed as victory is this vacation, these times where we're traveling and becoming cultured. So sometimes, you do need to serve you. Sometimes you do need to put the oxygen mask on yourself first so that you can continue to fund this thing. Sometimes you need to put the oxygen mask on your spouse so they can plan. Sometimes it's the kids so they can be prepared for what they're going to have to do. Different times you're going to have to serve the different people. You're going to be serving the group out of the four that you need to serve most. I said if you keep watching, I'm going to tell you. So the thing that you should choose most out of the four, 70% of the time, you need to be choosing the team. The team as a whole needs to be the choice that you're making. Who do you serve? If you're going to be a good leader, that's the thing. That's what you need to serve. Your goal, your job is to make sure that the team, the collective, is happy, healthy, all the stuff I talked about before when we've talked about leadership. But if this is your first video, part of your job as a leader is to make sure your team is set. So 70% of the time, that's what you need to be choosing. That's who you need to serve. And even in the example I gave, all of those things, whether your wife at that moment needs a break or your kids need the money for this or they need a break or you need a break, all of these things are going to serve the victory that the team has decided together that is what you want. It's the greater good. It's the greater mission, if you will. It's the thing, again, that's going to make you all happy. Now, some people involve their kids in what their family plan is. Some people have decided what their family plan is going to be before they even have kids, which I think you should. I think you should have multiple family plans. But the fact remains, no matter what you choose, and in whatever moment, even if it's just you and your person, you and your other teammate, you don't even have kids yet, there are times in which you should be choosing them. There are times in which you should be choosing you. You're allowed to be selfish in moments, and you're allowed to think about them in moments. But for the most part, a good 70 to 80% of the time, if you don't got kids, it needs to be up to 80. 80% of the time, if it's just you and your person, you need to be thinking about the team. Meaning, neither of you will really be winning over the other person when you're thinking about the team. You don't really have to keep score if you're making sure the team, the collective, is what you're after. It's like a compromise. You might not be 100% happy with what the choice that you're making is. She or he, if you're the woman watching, might not be happy with 100% of what the choice is. But if the team itself is being served, you'll still get something out of it. Might not be 100% of what you want, might not be 100% of what they want, but you'll still get what you need. So, gentlemen, this is going to call for you. Now, women and men should both be watching this. You should be watching it together if you're a couple, or slide this video to your lady if you want to explain this thing and you don't have the right words. Just let me do it for you. But the point is, gentlemen, this is going to be a call for you, because between the two of you, women are designed, trained from birth to win arguments. They can talk way more eloquently than we do. Way more words are used by them. When it comes to explaining plans, we don't really do that too well. We oftentimes don't talk to each other about plans at all. And so we might be, between men or women, we are more likely to just be doing things, moving in actions, and making decisions that might not make sense to your girl. So it's going to be a call to you to make sure you're explaining, baby, I know it seems like I'm just trying to serve myself right now, but really it's because I'm trying to serve the team, our goal, the thing that we want. And ladies, when you're making decisions, make sure, is it about you? Are you really trying to serve just how you feel right now? Or are you thinking about the team? Are you thinking about this victory, the thing that you have decided collectively, this is what we're about? So if you notice, by the way, many of these videos talking about how couples should operate goes back down to conversation. You need to be talking to each other. So many of you are not having conversations with your person at all. You're not having enough conversations, or you're not speaking deeply enough about it. You're not asking the right questions. You're not explaining the right things. But the main thing that you're going to have with this, the reason why this might not happen and you might have beef or problems or whatever, is because the person who you're talking to might be thinking that you're serving yourself. They might be worried that they aren't getting what they want or what they need or what have you. So again, if you are explaining, both of you talking about, well, who are we serving in this argument? Who are we serving when it comes to this decision? Who are we serving? Is this really because we want to make sure that the kids have XYZ? But giving the kids XYZ right now, does that serve our greater plan, our greater victory, what we have deemed that this is what we're about? If we're saying our plan is to make sure that we're financially free or what have you, yeah, we want our kids to have fun, but should we be spending so much money on all these different activities when really you can have these kids play outside? Do we have to have them do everything that costs $500, $600, $700? We got like 13 kids and we can't afford this kind of stuff. So make sure you step your conversation game up and get your plan down so you can go out and get this victory. Now that's the end of today's lesson. Now if you found value in this lesson, and I know you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are still on our road to 10K. And if you're really good, if you really want to make sure you help the algorithm and you help out this channel and what we do, slide this video to someone who needs to hear this message. Now, I know you like these lessons. Where else you gonna go to get gold bars and knowledge dropped on you on a daily? Where you gonna go to get this information? Where you going?
Where you going? Nowhere.
So make sure you come back and watch another one of these videos and get some more learning in. But until next time, though, deuce deuce.